Welcome to Sepang, Malaysia. It's round 8 of the 2014 GT Asia Championship. Jonathan Green reporting for Motorsport Asia. Sepang, just outside Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, will play a major role in deciding the outcome of this year's series, with 4 rounds in total of the famous Formula One circuit. After that, it's 2 final rounds in China in Zhuhai, and then the ultimate challenge of the Macau Grand Prix in November. Let's look back now at the highlights from round 7. Typical Sepang weather, wet qualifying followed by dry and humid race conditions. Local man Alex Young on the pole position for Audi, Christopher Mize behind him, but it was Rui Argus in the Ferrari that bounced into the lead. Bouncing out of contention, Max Wiese in the NB team, Aston Martin at turn 7, but he got going again. Stefan Muka also in an Aston Martin, showing his fellow German the way to go as he goes past around the outside of Christopher Mize. More problems for Young, the pole man, sidelined with driveline issues yet again. David Rizzo in the 37 Ferrari coming into the pits, and Muzayin swapping over from Rui Argus in the lead ahead of Richard Wee in second place. But it would all change very quickly indeed. Craft Bamboo watching on. Darrell Young very proud to see this move by Frank Yu, who took the car over from Stefan Muka, moving through the field gracefully. Quickly into the lead. No such luck for round 6 winners Jeffrey Lee and Christopher Mize. They too were sidelined. Then the charge was on by the number 37. Anthony Liu, sensational. Side by side with Mock into turn 2. Bounces his way over the curbs and past Mock as he goes in pursuit of a podium. And he wasn't done there. An easy move on Hamaguchi. Next it was Muzayin and Richard Wee. And brilliantly, the young Chinese finished second behind Frank Yu, who takes the win for Aston Martin. Advantage V12 took the checkered flag, another win for Frank Yu and Stefan Muka, one which pushes them up the standings and keeps them in contention. But overall, Rob Bell and Hamaguchi still hold that lead after 7 rounds with 100 points. Frank Yu and Mock now 89 and 81. Kurosawa right there as well. And Rizzo in 6th place now with 80 points with Anthony Liu after that excellent 2nd place. Overall in the Teams Championship, Clearwater Racing have 181 points, Craft Bamboo AMR 132, and then Absolute Racing, Spirit of Race and NB Team in 5th place in the Aston Martin. On then to the action from round 8. Once again, very hot indeed here at Sepang, but dry, I'm glad to say. Time for the proverbial selfie, or group selfie, I suppose. And then down to the action. Once again, this 5.5 kilometre circuit, a real challenge, 15 turns in all, but the real stat that should stand out is humidity, 79%. And that down the big, long back straight and front straight does sap the turbo cars. Vutikorn in pole position in the Porsche, Anthony Liu and David Rizzo behind him in the Ferrari, Mock and Kurosawa likewise in the Ferrari in 3rd, and then Zhang Xin and Max Wiese in the 1st of the Aston Martins, and they're ahead of Bilski and Venter the Australian, Malagamua and Nathan Antunes, and the 1st of the Lamborghinis in 6th place. Hamaguchi and Bell suffering a little bit in qualifying themselves, but they will be in the hunt for sure. The top man in the GTM is forward back again with George Chow. They line up in 17th place ahead of Wayne Shen, and it's going to be a good battle between them as well. Jackie Young in the mix for Hong Kong in the number 77 Audi, watch out for him coming through from 19th position. Or Aoki and Urata of Japan joining Aoki in 21st position. Big field here of GT Asia cars. Ready for that rolling start for round 8 as they come round the last corner. Vutikorn on the left-hand side in the yellow and blue Porsche. Singer Porsche will lead them away. Anthony Liu will chase him down with the lights blazing. The lights go to green. They spread out. Good start from the Aston Martin as well. But it's Vutikorn with the race line down towards the first corner. Challenged by Anthony Liu. Will Liu go around the outside as he usually tries to? He'll have the line for turn 2 if he does. Everybody cleanly through. Aoki got a good start as we go on board with Frank Yu. Tight through turn 2. Frank Yu in about 8th position. Now they open up these cars through turn 3 and up towards the first real overtake at turn 4. But it's Vutekorn from Anthony Liu. Everybody cleanly through 4. Samson Chan in the Ford going through on the inside, but Philip Ma coming together in the Audi with one of the Porsches, and that's put the Porsche out of contention already. Yet it's a Porsche from Thailand that leads this race. Vutekorn in the lead and pushing hard early on in this one, but being chased by the Ferrari 458 as we go for the midfield battle now. And Jeffrey Lee, as we go on board with him, he's further back than he needs to for Absolute Racing. He's battling, in fact, with the GTM boys. Just outside of the top 10 by the looks of things. Confirmation then, Vutekorn, Liu, Mok, Malagamua, Jiang, Hamaguchi in 6th place, then Yu in 7th place, Bilski in 8th, Shen is the first of the GTM cars. So work to do for Frank Yu, winner last time out in round 7, but still in the top 8. His teammate Stefan Muka watching on pensively. He'll get his chance, as will all the professionals in the handover. Compulsory pit stop, remember, as they come down that back straight towards the last turn here at Sepang. On board with Jeffrey Lee, looking for a lunge up the inside. Has he made it? Yes, he has. Excellent stuff by Jeffrey Lee, winner of round 6, of course. And his teammate waiting for his moment, as will Alex Young, both of them in Audis. Shen up to 9th position. He's got ahead of Lee, now up to 10th. Xier in the GTM class is 11th. Ford back, the championship leader in GTM, is in 12th position, ahead of Aoki in 13th. And there is that battle. Chan is in the mix as well. Siu just behind them in the Lamborghini. So battles going on throughout this huge field. Here's another look at the start. Vutekorn defended well. And it looked as though for a moment Anthony Liu might just try a maneuver around the outside. He certainly was thinking about it, but Vutekorn was wise to it. The Nissan looks like starting from pit lane. And there's David Arrizzo waiting for his chance in the 458 Ferrari. Teammate, of course, to Anthony Liu, who is in 2nd place and just can't get past Vutekorn. Vutekorn on the fresher rubber, I think. Anthony Liu complaining that he's having to race with tyres that aren't fresh, as Xiang Xin gets through on Malagamua. Nicely done at the last turn. That's a classic Sepang overtake. And he makes it stick on the Lamborghini. And there's no question that the Vantage V12 stretches its legs here at the Sepang circuit down those 2 big straights, one on down the back straight and, of course, down the start-finish. And through into 15th place goes Thomas Ford back, the Dane. He's got past the GT3 Audi of Philip Ma, but Ma now coming back him on the straights. Got the speed, has Philip Ma in the Audi. And just behind them in the number 55 is Siu-Luk Young. And he too looks as though he's going to try and make an attempt on Ford back as well. The Dane driving very well in that Ferrari. Philip Ma's got through, but Siu-Luk Young will not. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more action from Sepang after this. Welcome back to Sepang for round 8 of the GT Asia Championship. A really interesting battle between Thailand's Vutekorn and China's Anthony Liu. And Liu has been stuck to the back of that Porsche since the start of this race. But now it's going to change as he dives to the inside here at the final turn and makes his move. Into the lead goes Liu. But coming back, the Porsche down the straight. It's a drag race. And the Porsche's got the legs. Back into the lead goes Vutekorn. But Anthony Liu's got the better line for turn 1. This is a cracking race between the pair of them, and Vutekorn will not give in that position. He's fought all the way. Finally, Liu makes it stick, and the 37 Ferrari goes into the lead, or does he? Into turn 2, and he's still thinking about it, Vutekorn. He bounces over the curbs, loses drive though, and Anthony Liu now surely will make this stick as he heads out of turn 3 and up the hill again towards 4, but there's no question the tie. Vutekorn means business, and he's not giving up just yet, is he? Into turn 4 they go, through the gearbox. Here's another look at the classic move. Last turn at Sepang, up the inside, got all the drive down the back straight. And there was no place for the Porsche to come back at him. Back to the GTM battle, Ashraf Duwal and Jackie Young up against Thomas Ford back in the number 88. And likewise, the Nissan of Yoshida in 16th place, battling with Hewlett Young in the number 55 Lamborghini. The Lamborghini jinking to the inside and looking to make up a place and go through to 15th place. He can't quite do it. Nissan's got the legs. They've struggled with the turbos, have the Nissan team with this humidity. As Christopher Mize readies himself for his stint for Audi. The changeovers will be coming fast and furious. Malagamua and Hamaguchi battling it out for 5th and 6th. Hamaguchi looking to the inside, does he? Just behind them, Frank Yu and Daniel Bilski line astern in the Astons, and Hamaguchi does make the inside move at the last turn. Through goes the Japanese then in the McLaren. Championship leaders, remember, but they've not done a lot of winning, have Bell and Hamaguchi. Doesn't matter, they are consistent, and that was a nice move by the Japanese. He's had a few incidents that he shouldn't have had happen to him, spinning while leading, and he's regretted every moment of that, but he's tried so hard. And talking of regret, Philip Marr in the Audi, number 98, spins it round, and his teammate looking rather saddened by that. They just haven't had a lot of good luck, have Audi. Forced out of round 7, and it looks as though round 8's not going much better. Now come the pit stops. In comes Motwin Sung for Clearwater Racing. The Nissan, the B-Max Nissan is in already. And out by the looks of things. Anthony Liu comes in for the Ferrari. Davide Rizzo will take over. In goes the Italian. Motwin Sung will hand over to Ketasawa. Meanwhile, the Porsche of Vudikorn continues to circulate. He hasn't come in yet, so he leads this race. Ketasawa, Clearwater Racing. On go a new set of tyres for him. Neatly done, but there's a problem here for Rizzo. They're screaming, one of the mechanics screaming. Looks as though they've got a wheel nut problem stuck or something, and it's slowing them down. And meanwhile, the Singer AAS team march on, but they have to take that pit stop. In comes one of the Audis. Aston Martin are in. Rob Bell's in the car now in the number 32. So it's all the professionals coming out to contest this last stint. It'll be Ketasawa from Max Visa in the Aston Martin by the looks of things. Motwin Sung hands over to Ketasawa. Meanwhile, the 458 of BBT. Davide Rizzo still there. Down go the Jacks finally, and they've got him away, have they? Yes, just about, but he's lost a lot of time, maybe 20 seconds or so in that pit stop. Bhirombhakti will be in the car in a moment as Vudikorn finishes off his stint. Max Visa comes out in 3rd place. Rizzo finally getting out just ahead of Rob Bell in 4th. Not a good changeover for the Ferrari. And this is going to be an interesting run to the finish now. I just got a quick glimpse there of Bjorn Wertheim in the Mercedes. Not as strong, and another lap to go then for the number 11 as Vudikorn continues, but he's going to have to swap over to Bhirombhakti in a moment for the Singer team, which he will, and they're discussing that on the pit wall right now. Got to take his pit stop, yep, and they're going to bring him in surely in this next lap. Meanwhile, Philip Marr in the Audi under immense pressure from Davide Rizzo. Rizzo on the new tyres, Philip Marr yet to pit, and Rob Bell right there waiting for his moment too in 5th place as they come down the back straight. Philip Marr gets out of the way, or does he? Rizzo goes past, and Rob Bell will look to do the same in a moment. And I would have said that Marr will be coming in to swap with Alex Young any moment now at the end of this lap. And he's holding off Rob Bell for now, who looks up the inside and goes in pursuit of Rizzo. And sure enough, the Audi comes in right now to swap over. And through goes Rizzo and Bell to continue their battle for hopefully a podium between them. Meanwhile, Bhirombhakti waiting patiently for Vudikorn, who finally comes in now in the Singer AAS Motorsport team Porsche. Ketasawa up to P2 now for Clearwater Racing in the Ferrari. And out comes Vudikorn. And in goes Piti Bhirombhakti. The two ties have been brilliant since they've joined the championship. They came in late, but they've been fast since they began in the wet in Japan. Very competitive straight from the get-go. Meanwhile, Ketasawa looking very good indeed in that number 3, and it's been a battle between the Clearwater men. Ketasawa and Motwin Sung taking on Rob Bell and Hamaguchi. And one of those Clearwater Racing team members is going to win the title, I think. It's going to go all the way, though, as we heard from Frank Yu earlier in the day. Kitasawa, though, now leading this race. Kitasawa and Mok Win-sung. Away goes PT. And how much time have they lost, I wonder? Well, we'll soon find out. Good battle here between Jonathan Venter and Stefan Muka. 7th and 8th position. And Muka just behind him. Frank Yu, his teammate, watching on for Craft Bamboo. Tense moments here for all concerned. And Stefan really pushing on now. They're using the back markers. And out of 4, a little bit too wide from the number 99. Venter in trouble as they go through 5. And this is where Muka was saying that in terms of setup, he's really confident. And the Aston just glides through here. Nice move by the number 97 Craft Bamboo man to move them up to 7th place overall. A short break here from Sepang. We'll be right back with more action. GT Asia Round 8 after this. Welcome back to Sepang. The pit stops all over, and we can see now the leader, Kitasawa, and the gap he's got between he and the Aston Martin coming up now. In 2nd place, that's Max Wiese. There's the gap to 3rd place as well. The Ferrari of Davide Rizzo in 3rd position there, ahead of Rob Bell, and you can see the gap between those two as well. Next up, it's the Audi of Christopher Mize in 5th position, and he's just ahead of Pitti. And you can see now, though, that Stefan Muka and Venter in the Aston Martins are catching the Porsche very quickly indeed. Vutakorn, who led his stint from the pole position, and now Pitti, who's taken over, is in real trouble now with these Aston Martins, and Muka all over the back of him now as they head through the back of this circuit. There's no question that the Aston Martin is quicker, but Pitti will defend in this flat out turn 13 and 14 into the right-hander now, and Muka almost pushing him forward. Oh, they touched then, definitely they touched, and in fact they both come off, and Pitti spins around, so too does Muka. And to be fair, Stefan Muka, did he need to overtake there when he could have waited for the straight? He definitely had the power and the advantage in terms of speed. But in the end, they both come off with a spin. And now Pitti's trying to get past Nathan Antunes in the number 24 Lamborghini. He and Malagamu have had a good run for Delango Racing. To the last turn, he will try and get past as quickly as he can. Here's another look at it. Well, maybe Muka was concerned that Venter behind was also about to pass him again, so he wanted to push on. But in the end, you've got to lay the blame. Certainly these Thai mechanics will lay the blame with the German, I'm sure. Meanwhile, back with another one from Absolute Racing this time, the German Christopher Mize battling for a top 5 finish. And that's with Rob Bell in 4th position, who went very wide at the exit of 8, and that's allowed Mize to catch right up as they head out of 9. This will make for a very interesting run to the line. Christopher Mize joining the championship late on with Absolute Racing, but he's been quick since he joined. One of the factory drivers for Audi. Rob Bell, one of the factory drivers for McLaren. And of course, Rob Bell and his teammate Hamaguchi leading the championship at the moment. Even though they haven't had the wins and the results, they've been the most consistent, and they want to keep that consistency now. So Rob's got to be careful in the number 32. Not to push on too much. He went very wide at 8 there, and that allowed Mize to catch right up. All problems for George Chu. Now, he was battling for GTM honours in the number 88. He and Ford back, and it's come to nothing though, sadly. Here we go, look at this battle. Antunes and Baird of GT3 and Wayne Shen and Ken Urata battling it out for GTM class honours. And of course, with George Chu out, that makes this battle very interesting indeed. So, coming towards the closing stages of round 8, and it's all kicking off here in both classes, GT3 and GTM. And Ken Urata trying to get his first ever international win with Aoki. Meanwhile, Craig Baird battling it out with Antunes for a top 8. Aoki watches on, and he's had a good stint himself, former winner in Korea. The former motorcycle star, but Kitasawa on his way on the final lap now to yet another victory for he and Mok Win-sung. And they will get ever closer to their teammates from Clearwater in the hunt for the overall championship now with this win. Blue flags wave, Max Wiese you can see in the distance there, but I don't think he's going to have time with just one corner to go to stop Kitasawa. the Japanese from winning yet another famous win here. And Mok just keeps on winning at Sepang. He'll be back here in a couple of weeks doing the 12 hours. So they know this circuit, and then back a month later to do rounds 9 and 10. He crossed the line again. There's the checkered flag for Kurosawa. He holds off Visa. And that's a good result, though, for the Aston Martin. Max Visa and Zhang Xin taking second place for MB team. And meanwhile, Rob Bell in the number 32. He and Christopher Mize go all the way to the line, but he does hold the German off. Great racing by both of them, and that's an important result for Rob Bell to maintain that lead overall. Kurosawa and Mok really putting some pressure on, and it's going to be a really interesting battle within the team at Clearwater at the end of this season. So, confirmation after round 8. Mok Wen-sung and Kurosawa with the win for Ferrari. Zhang Xin and Max Weiser in the Aston Martin take second place. Anthony Liu and David Orizzo in the Ferrari take third. Hamaguchi and Bell are fourth, just holding off Christopher Mize and Jeffrey Lee. Winners in round 6. And there is a very, very pleased Japanese Kurosawa. Thumbs up. Great stuff by the team, and that's a much better result also for Max Weiser and his teammate Zhang Xin of China. But the happiest man has got to be Ken Urata, his first international win with Aoki, and Mok receives his prize, as he's done so many times before. The two-time champion of GT Asia, Mok Wen-sung, wins again in Sepang, but this time with Kurosawa, and they're marching ever closer to the men who've been leading this championship, Hamaguchi and Bell. And with 2 more rounds to go from Sepang, it's going to get very interesting indeed. Let's head down to the press conference now and hear from our winners in the number 3 Ferrari.
Well, like Sawa-san said, we had a game plan going in, right? I knew that with car 37 and car 32 having both success penalty time in the pit stop, that this was a really, really good shot for us. And my goal going in was to not let Anthony run away too quickly. Right, the game plan at the beginning of the race was to stay within 5 seconds of him, right? Because we knew that they had 9 seconds extra in the pit stop, and I think we're fortunate that he got bottled up a little bit by the Porsche at the start, and we had a race pace that was actually quite good in my stint. I think he managed to keep within 2 to 3 seconds of Anthony, and we knew that once we're in the pit, we're likely to come out ahead, and that's exactly what happened. And I think we saw that the other podium finishes from yesterday were a bit further down the order at the start of the race, so we focused on car 37 and nobody else, and I think it worked out right.
Can we just go back to the very start? You seem to have worked very hard, but if you just talk about you were thankful, etc., and how hard you had to work.
Yesterday we could P4 is the best place to get the championship point a match, and without time successful penalty for today. So he did very well, starting and the pace and everything he did well, 100%. So when I get the car, I just try to do our best. And my stint was approximately 15-16 laps, so I made a story myself. First 5 laps, push the car, and middle 5 laps, I tried to manage to the car conditioning good to the end. And the last 5 laps, I had radio the gap of our between for them. So I tried to keep pushing 100% last 5 laps to use the everything of tire performance. So we could make a 100% weekend, I think.
Well, it's been a while since they've been on the podium. A spin in round 7, but MB team come good in round 8 with Visa and Xian.
We are happy to be on the podium again. And yesterday for us it was a very unlucky race because someone pushed me out in the first lap, and then he had the contact with a slower car. But today he did a nice job during the start. He pushed a lot to stay with the first 3 cars. And after I did the first 6-7 laps very hard. I pushed a lot because I saw Sawa not far from me. But at the end, my tires was too hot and I couldn't overtake him. But it was a nice race.
Kane, you did a very good job. You helped set that up so that Max had something to chase. Were you surprised at how quick you were here this weekend?
Yes, yesterday is not unlucky, and then today was his good start, but the Delenta is in front of me, and then I know my lap time is faster than him, and then I used the 4 lap, and then the last corner overtake him, and then the last 2 lap I overtake the slow car, the GTM class, and then lost maybe 4 seconds for the last corner, so not bad.
And in third place, vying for the lead early on with the Porsche, but not able to get past early enough, the number 37 Ferrari of Davide Rizzo and Anthony Liu.
No, I had race-thin tires from yesterday, so obviously it's almost impossible to overtake him. We lose everywhere on the high-speed sections, particularly because I had old tires from yesterday race 1, stint 2. Another big reason is because our car was dialed in for the rain. So it was not enough time and too much of a risk to go back to the dry settings. So our car was like a van to drive in from 5 to 12. It's basically no cornering grip, no load. Well, I have to find a way, and I found a way. But I think what really cost us victory is because we had a wheel nut problem in the pit stop. I think we lost, I don't know how, we were quite in the beginning of the pit entry now. I don't know what you calculate the time from takeoff to the speed restriction off on the pit exit. I think we lost more or less about 20 seconds. Could have had a race win. But racing is racing, you know. We're here in 4 weeks' time exactly, we'll do it again.
Well, yeah, at the beginning of the stint I started to push hard, of course, because we knew that we have some gap to close up. And after also, over than that, we had some troubles on the rear of the car, so I have to slow down the pace. And I saw the rubber was coming on the back. I said, I hope I can keep for 1 more lap, because the car was really almost not drivable. And so, yeah, the most important things for sure is that we are on the podium and to keep score points for the championship. That's the target that we need to put. But of course, when you see that you have a possible victory even with a 9 seconds penalty, you know, you are more confident for next time probably.
Anthony, you were pretty...
And congratulations to the GTM winners, 15th overall in the race, but winners in GTM. That's Takuma Aoki, winner again, as he was in Korea, and Ken Urata. Ken winning his first international race, absolutely delighted. Congratulations to them and Delango Racing. Now, overall, it's getting tight after 8 rounds. Rob Bell and Hamaguchi with 110. They are just 11 points ahead of Kitasawa and Motwen Sung, their teammates in the Ferrari. Anthony Liu and David Rizzo, 94 points, and likewise Frank Yu on 94 as well. But Max Wieser's moved up the board for Aston Martin, though I don't think they'll challenge for the overall title. In the Teams Championship, Clearwater Racing have 209, and they're moving quite a long way ahead now of Craft Bamboo AMR. And they too are holding off Absolute Racing in the Audi with 95 points now ahead of Spirit of Race in 4th place. MBT now in 5th. In GTM, Thomas Fordback, despite not finishing that last race, has 96 points. His teammate Jackie Young, 96 as well. George Chow didn't finish round 8. He has 90. He's 10 ahead of Aoki, who moves to 4th place overall ahead of Francis Chia, who's already had 1 win this season. So, great racing once again from round 8. And in fact, they'll be back at Sepang to do it all again for rounds 9 and 10. Long way to go in the GT Asia Championship for 2014. More great racing to come. Join us next time out at Sepang. From me, Jonathan Green. Bye for now.